Hey guys, Matthew here again. Now today I'm going to be teaching you guys how you can actually install the OwnCloud control panel from scratch and make it run off the XAMPP, or known as XAMPP, I don't know how you say it, control panel. So before we get started, you're obviously going to want to go to your, either on your server or your computer. I'm going to do this on my server as usual, as I don't really like doing hosting stuff from my main computer. So first of all, you're going to download a program called XAMPP. It's spelled XAMPP. It's going to type it into your browser, and then when that loads, which is probably going to take hours now, never mind. You're going to click on here where it says download. Just literally do a simple Google search, and then it's going to download the latest one here. Now it still works even if you've got a 64-bit machine, because this machine I'm hosting my server on is a 64-bit. So that's how you download XAMPP. Now he's going to download and install that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to your browser again. Don't know why I just closed that. Going to go to Google, or you can just do what I did before, just type it straight into the top bar if you're on Firefox or Chrome, and you're going to type in OwnCloud. Now what OwnCloud is, I've done a video on it previously. It's just basically cloud storage from anywhere. It's free and it's really good as well. I'm going to be starting using it quite a bit. So you're going to go to install. Now there are two versions or two ways of installing this. Now because we're using XAMPP, we are going to be using the archive file, but you can use the web installer as well, but it's basically just the same as the archive file, apart from the fact it just downloads the files for you. So we're going to be using the archive file. Now let me just double check. I think I might already have this downloaded. Yes, there it is. Okay, so you're literally just going to click on that, and then it'll say here this little message. So ignore all this. I haven't needed to do any of this stuff. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on either Linux or Windows. Now, obviously, I'm doing it on Windows tutorial, so don't ask for a Linux because I don't know. So download Windows. Once you've downloaded it as well, you should have this folder here as OwnCloud 7.0.1.zip. Now, it is OwnCloud 7 at the time of this recording, so if it's different or being updated a lot, then don't come back to me saying, oh, so-and-so changed. I'll do another video on how to install the latest version. So we're going to drag that file to our desktop now. Drag to our desktop. Okay. Now, once you've installed XAMPP, it will make a folder in this directory. So you're going to want to hit Start on Computer, click on your local disk C, click on XAMPP, or whatever you called the folder. I just install XAMPP by default, so it just calls it XAMPP. Now the public website hosting folder is in here, htdocs. Now I have already got OwnCloud in here, so I'm just going to quickly move all these files over to so I can show you guys how to install this from scratch. So I'm just going to call it OwnCloud old, and I'm just going to literally just move all these into here. There we go, very quick. Okay, so you're going to open up your folder or the file which you've just downloaded, and it's going to have an OwnCloud folder. So you're going to double click on that. Now you can actually have it. You can either install it as a separate folder. Now, for example, if I was to install OwnCloud straight into there now in a folder, to connect to the OwnCloud control panel, I'll connect to it via the IP or the host. So it'll be, for example, my machine IP is now changed because I've got a new machine. So if you put it in as a folder, in the OwnCloud folder, you'd have to do whatever the folder's called. So it would be the IP/OwnCloud. But if you was to open up the folder, copy all the stuff, and then put it into there, you won't need the /OwnCloud. You just put it as the IP, and it'll take you straight to the OwnCloud. So I'm just going to be doing it without the /OwnCloud because personally, I think it's better, but if you are hosting multiple things, that would be another suggestion. So, it's going to copy all these folders over and files. That might take a few minutes because currently my server is running RAID 1, which means it's got two hard drives. One is a 1 terabyte Western Digital, oh god, I don't know who on it now, NAS drive, and the other one is just a normal Seagate drive, but it's just 250 gig. So because obviously I've got a 250 gig and a 1 terabyte drive, they've both been a little bit limited to space. So basically they're both just working as one drive at the moment. So I'm gonna have to get another terabyte drive to match it, so I get a lot more storage. So once that's eventually copied over, which it has now, I'm just gonna move the items over. It's not the fastest machine. There we go. Okay, so now you've got the files and stuff in here. Now, the easiest way, if you're installing it from your server, what you can do is you can just go to your server now and type in localhost. Or sorry, no, don't. Before that, sorry, don't do that yet. If you go to the XAMPP control panel, once it's all set up, you'll need to start the Apache. Just hit start. If it's giving you an error saying that port 80 or another port is being used, you can just go here, click on config, and then click on the httpd.conf. Open that. Find here where it says listen. Now you can change that to 80 and change the port, but I've got zPanel running at the moment on what's on this server as well on port 8080, so ignore that. So yeah, so you can change the port, but I'm not using port 80, so I'm fine. So make sure that Apache service is running. Now also another note, you can, if you know how to set up MySQL through XAMPP, you can do that as well. But for this tutorial I'm not going to be using that. I've already got an alternate, which is zPanel. If you don't know how to install that, you can go and Google it and there will be tutorials on there, because it is a pain to set up. I can't really do a video again because I have to uninstall it and reinstall it. It's a complete pain. So next thing before you install OwnCloud, I made a little mistake there, is you go to your whatever you're using or MySQL and make a database for it. So I'm using zPanel here. I remember what the password is. I think that's it. We have to load. There we go. So I'm just going to create a database for this. So now you can use MySQLite, which is already built in to OwnCloud, but it's better if you don't, because if you use MySQLite, it can't hold as much storage and as much data as a normal database of MySQL. So I'm just going to call this one YouTube, and then just create the database. Now we've only made the database, we have to assign a user to it, so I'm just going to go to MySQL users, and then I'm just going to create a new username, so I'm just going to call that one YouTube as well. Database name, I'm going to link it to the zadmin YouTube, and click create. Now that's been created, so we've now got a MySQL database. So you can now go back to your local host, so go to your browser and type in localhost. This will now bring up to the OwnCloud setup page. Now this by default is going to ask you to make an admin account, so I'm just going to call this Matthew and set a password. Now you've got this little option here which you need to configure. So you can change it where your data is, so where you want all the OwnCloud, when a user uploads a file, you want to choose where it saves to. So I'm just going to have it in the folder data, which is located here. So as you can see by the, there we go, right that to that side, there we go. So as you can see by the path, it's on drive C, go in there, XAMPP or XAMPP in there, htdocs, and then data. So all data will be in there. Now, for security reasons, to stop people getting into it, you can change the file permissions of this folder just by right-clicking and going to Properties, Security, and then make sure that the XAMPP has permission to read and write, but you can limit the permissions as well. If you know how to do all that stuff, you can do that as well to stop the users get on, if this is a shared machine, for example, of getting access to all your users' personal data. Now, so back to the MySQL. You've got SQLite or MySQL/Maria database. So we're going to be using MySQL. So the user was YouTube. The password, the admin has generated one for us, which is here, as you can see, which is nydad_ever. Okay, weird one. So put the password in there. Database name was zadmin, because it was my zPanel account, and then we made a database called YouTube. Now it's going to be hosted on the local host because we're hosting it on the same machine, not another one. So we're going to click Finish Setup. It's going to ask you if you want to update your password. Oh, it appears we got the. Oh, what happened here then? Let's say you not valid. You need to enter either an existing account or the admin. Oh, sorry, must have put the wrong way around. Let's have a look. Oh, so, yeah, that's right. YouTube database password. One database password. Let's try it again. Copy. nydad_ever. nydad_ever. And database name was zadmin. Let me just double check. I did call it YouTube, didn't I? Just double check that. MySQL databases. ZAdmin YouTube. Yeah, we called it ZAdmin YouTube. Okay, that's strange. ZAdmin underscore YouTube. Finish setup. Oh, hang on. We'll try make another user. Let's call it YouTube. There we go. Finish setup. That should go through. Hopefully. Remember that password. Might take a little while, but I'll show you how to fix the slowness in another video. So that's now connected to the MySQL database. As you can see, we are now logged on. It's gonna give you this welcome screen telling you that the OwnCloud is available on desktop, Android, and App Store. This is just a plugin. You can disable these. You can also add plugins, or apps, sorry, as they're called. I like to call them plugins in here. So there you go. So that's how you install OwnCloud. So you can now, obviously, if you want to access it from your server or publicly, just make sure you port forward the ports here, or the XAMPP ports there. It might show up different ports. It's because it's what OwnCloud is using. So, so yeah, guys, that's how to install OwnCloud using the archive file installation area. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys.
What's your vision?